This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports Chaco. We're here at Lab Fitness. I was going to say it's been a long time, Paddy. April of last year we last spoke to you about how's things with you?
Good. It's all dead on. A long time in a sense, but not long enough.
Not long enough. I guess obviously in some ways you missed the, having a chat about boxing and everything else. Like the last time I interviewed you, it's my 47th interview in April of last year, and you're now the 267th interview in just over a year. The last time we spoke, actually, you said, give me an interview, you're interviewing everybody else, I want to have a laugh, I want to have a joke, and there were 222 interviews later, and here we are again.
Yeah, no, that's it. Well, let's hope we'll have a laugh today again, as always. I like this, or like you were saying there, do miss press conferences and interviews and the media build-up and all that kind of things. Don't miss making them wait and stuff like that. I'm sure every boxer would say it. I do miss the build up, the fights and all as well. And then when I done that commentating the other week, I like this buzz. This is good.
Funny, I was talking to Tommy McCarthy about it the other day, and I guess what I sort of said to you after showing stuff as well is it's good to see obviously people that's professional boxers in the ring. Well, not even in the ring as such, obviously you're ringside, but you're commentating the fight and you're giving people analysis sometimes they may not know, that you've Tom, Dick or Harry that's never set foot in a boxing ring, whereas you're able to give expert analysis and obviously what you were saying. Did you enjoy sort of, I guess at times, I give you a bit of stick because you're calling Rudy Farrell, Rudy Farrell, but I'm sure you and Tommy obviously were, a good steam. He's only got to do 3 or 4 fights.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's probably wanted more.
Well, I didn't know about it. I asked Tommy the day before because he said that Jimmy said he needs a partner. I says I'll do it. That was the day before. Didn't hear nothing. Then about 3:30 the next day, he said, "Oh, we'd be down here for about 4:30." I says, "Down where?" He's down. Obviously, we're doing these fights. He'd be already to make it ready here. It was still on me when we went down, and with a bit of cracks with it, as you know, but. A lot of people said, well, a lot of local people says, oh, you were way better than Yanks, and you should do it more often. It was good crack and you were real and stuff. And then when people say, go on and read the reviews, like the reviews, who the fuck's that? What language is he speaking and stuff? I was like, all right, no, maybe it's only the local people enjoyed it. But it was brilliant crack, so it was funny. I think we're about 2 or 3 rounds in. As Russell said to me, he said, Paddy, no cursing. Don't be slagging anyone. To be clear and keep it professional. I was like, right, no sweat. So a couple of rounds in, I was right, strictly business. And then Tommy, he cracked a joke. I think it was about the Sports Direct gum shield. Everybody loved that one, and that was it. It just started.
Snowballed.
That was it.
So Tommy's getting the blame in your household, in Rachel, then that he was the one that instigated it all.
No, she didn't listen to it. I says, no, I couldn't even listen to it. I'm sick of your interviews and all. She says, you're hard to listen to. No, she didn't say it, but she says, no, she didn't end up listening. She didn't end up watching. She was busy on it. But I know she knows. I said I didn't try and use her to ease it. That was funny. Like.
But obviously, I guess in some ways, it's good to see obviously boxing back at the SSE. It was 4 years. I think that the last card was actually supposed to be the last card that was in the SSE. You were supposed to be on that card, and then obviously you had your jaw broke by Rohan Dahi. I think you're supposed to fight in that card. But it was great to see the SSE back in full swing, and like it's been a while since it's been full as well. Probably a year before. So before that, the last time it was full. So I guess that shows a testament where Irish boxing is at the minute.
Yeah. It was a smashing show. Really enjoyed it. It was a smashing undercard. The 3 fights we watched were good. We commentated as best as possible. And then a load of fights on the card were very, very good. And Mick obviously getting the win as well, coming back from a knockout loss. So it was very good. I think it was a smashing night for Irish boxing. You know yourself, you were there, and then whatever reviews and other people are saying, it was brilliant. And like you said, it's good to have big boxing back in Belfast.
Are you sort of hoping that maybe this might be a regular gig that you and Tommy can get? Tommy's into stand-up comedy now. He's into everything. Like him and Tyrone just started a podcast as well. Whiskey and White. So like he's putting his hands in every sort of pie it's sort of going. Yeah. Is it sort of something you would like to do? Probably more is obviously the comedy, because let's face it, you've done everything you pretty much had as an amateur. Yeah. You've been in there and obviously done a lot of it as a pro as well. So when you've that expert knowledge, sometimes the best thing to have is to put a microphone in front of you.
Yeah, sometimes. Not all the time, judging by our past interviews. But yeah, definitely, we'd like to do it again. We spoke to Jimmy about it. He says, look, what's the crack here? Can we do this more often? He says, we'll have to see. But he did seem up for it. So maybe we can. There was an announcement here for a show maybe this week or whatever. a show in October time. So maybe we'll put her hand in for that one, or put her name in a hat, say. I would like to do it more often, yeah. And then if we can get on to more Conlon boxing, next time we could do Madison Square Garden next year or something. If that's happening, it'd be nice.
It would be very nice, I guess. The only sort of drawback I had from the sort of show was Jamel O'Hearn and Christina Puncher were in America, and they sort of, you lost feet of it at times, whether they were going ringside afterwards for interviews or they going back to the studio. Sort of that bit was lost in translation, where you needed someone ringside, like yourself and Tommy, where you're able to pick things up straight away. I guess obviously the Conlon Boxing's biggest show, to date probably, it's an indoor show in the SSE, so I guess there's always learning experience to have from it as well. But I think we're potentially maybe going to have another one at the end of the year in the SSE as well, so who knows, you could be back for another one.
I'll be Jimmy, sort of there. Yeah, I'll be expecting to. Let's hope we do. Let's hope he doesn't pick whiskey and weight ahead of me. Let's hope I stick with Tommy.
Well, I guess if Tyrone keeps fighting and everything else, he's fine. You're obviously 3 years out of the ring now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know the last time we spoke, obviously you were still keeping cards close to your chest. I actually tagged you in something the other day because Florian Markey was obviously saying about who should be the next opponent, and I'd sort of quoted it and said nobody recommend any Irish fighters because he already turned you down, and he obviously turned away from Lewis Crocker. So I was sort of putting your name in there, but I was sort of going, do you know what? Florian Markey picks up a phone and says to Paddy Gallagher, do you want a ding dong? You'll be straight out.
No, I probably would be stupid enough to fight again. I really shouldn't, and I've said I'm retired and all, but I've took enough brain damage here. I don't need any more. But something like that. There's a few regrets. I have, what do you call him, Carmen Laraga. He fought not long ago, and I was supposed to fight. I got offered to fight him and Kinston on the same night, like 8th of October or August or whatever. I got offered to fight both of them. I had to pick between the two of them, and then I picked McKinson. Then I fell through like 4 or 5 times and then ended up scrapping it. But that's one of the fights I'm like, I really wish I had took that fight. I really wish that fight had materialised. Marky would have been the same. Once upon a time it was Ben, but I'm now glad it didn't happen. Judging by his performance these days. But no, Marky, I don't know. Put my name in a hat there again. Put my name forward there, and if I get offered, we'll see. If the time's right and the money's right, maybe.
You've never sort of announced officially your retirement, but I guess when you're 3 years out of the ring, you have a successful business here in lab fitness and everything else going. I think I've said to you a few times, if you can put money in your pocket without getting punched, that's the ultimate goal for people. Obviously, sometimes it only goes so far, I guess, in a vision and a dream of where you want to be as a boxer. Obviously, when time passes and you mature a bit, you go, how can I earn money without getting in a ring? So I guess you're probably into the business side of things now, but if a good offer came, you may potentially come back, or is that, have you decided that, no, I'm finished, the gloves are hung up?
Definitely, that's me done. Over 3 years out. I tried to come back a couple of times, like I said, the McKinson fight.
We actually tried to make up McKinson. Remember we done the Zoom call with McKinson.
It was made a year later. I'm not sure it was the 8th of August. It was him or Laraga, and it was back and forward, and it just came down to money. At the end of the day, I was getting more from McKinson, even though I would have preferred just the style of fights as well. Obviously, Laraga would have been a harder fight, but I preferred that fight. It was just getting more money, and the circumstances were better, so I took the McKinson fight. I got changed. That was the whole COVID thing. It was 2020. 2020 would have been. So I was back and forward. That was after the first initial lockdown, like 8 months in. I went back and forward 5-6 times. I think I finished. And the last time it was changed. It was August, September, back to August, October, and then back to September. So it was a Josh Taylor card, the 25th September. That was the final date, and then it just come out. I was like, no, I can't do this. Just wasn't mentally in a state to do it. So it was just too much. I mean, I couldn't cope it. So it sounded like a wee bit sort of but it was just too much. I said, look, lads, maybe another time.
It's probably the only time you probably ever turned down a fight. Like obviously fighting in America in the Jose Sullivan tournament. Obviously some great memories. I think Dan had shared something again the other day there about it.
That was unbelievable. I was probably highlighting my pro boxing career. Just that week, it was a brilliant performance. Should have been a nice win though as well, but good performance. It was a brilliant week, and what was around it, and the whole event and all. I loved that, so I did. I had some other good times as well, of course, but I would have been up over the best, definitely.
Would you probably say probably the worst side of boxing has probably been the robberies? Obviously, I know sometimes you don't want to cry over spilled milk sometimes, but you should have won in America. I think you were 49-45. down after 5 rounds when you had him dropped and everything else? And
No.
obviously the Kuwait fight, obviously I was in New York Hall for, and the Jenkins fight, obviously your last fight as a pro in the Fela. Do you is that the sort of drawbacks that you can't wait to get away from boxing for when obviously you do get robbed like that?
I sort of I don't think I might have took the Jenkins ones. The Jenkins one the worst, but the person had a lot of bad time at the time. So I think that just out of fuel the fire wasn't so much that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That wasn't just so much the controversialness, but it was that amongst other things. It was just a coincidence kind of. I probably took at the best. Took me maybe a year and a half, 2 years to get over it. I put up a picture the other week on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it. From the other week when he's fighting Tyrone, I went down because I had the access all areas. Because I was doing commentating. I went down. I seen Tyrone, seen Sean McComb, seen a couple of lads, seen Mick and all, and then I went in and I seen him. Big lad, nearly turning around. Oh, this fucker dropped me. I'll fucking do it again. Mom, get this picture, I get out of here. And what a bit of crack, and I seen Gary Lockett and about Dennis and all. So it was good. We all good sports and all that. Once upon a time, it haunted me big time. But sure, listen, it's one of them things. Worst things can happen in life than a shitty fight.
It is, and I guess I remember obviously at the Fela, and your brother was always to the left of me, and whenever the fight was stopped, because I had somebody actually texting, obviously I was watching the TV, and they'd already seen at that stage that obviously the punch had caused it, and I was to your brother, you're now the champ. As obviously it's not going to the cards, it's obviously stopped because he's retired. I guess I don't want to keep harping on about it, but obviously, if that decision obviously had went your way, that you obviously rightly won the British title, you probably look on and go, where would it be now? You could have fought for a world title. You just don't know what the sort of drawback could be from that. Where you could have been now. You could have been living a life of O'Reilly in America because you were offered obviously to go to America and stuff again. But I guess it's sort of trying to put that behind you now.
Yeah, definitely. I would have been British and Commonwealth champion there. Maybe should have fought. Liam Taylor, he fought next. Maybe I could have fought him, or maybe it would have been different because it was a new champion. There was no mandatories. So I don't know where it could have been. What plan was there? And it was like, right, I'm going to win this. I was so confident, not in a cocky way, but I was like, right, I'm going to win this. So I put the effort in. I was like so confident. And then if I had won that, maybe we would have pushed towards European, towards David
Avanesian.
Him. David Ava. And I do you know what I mean? Like, you're in the big boy leagues there. I was in good form at the time because in that year I fought Sullivan who's it? What do you call him?
Jose Sullivan.
What did I fight the guy? I can't remember his name.
Freddie Kuwait?
No.
You fought so before the
in America.
Yes, Brad Sullivan.
Sullivan. I see Sullivan.
That was the year before, wasn't it?
No, I'm not sure. Was that the same year? No, 19.
19, so you'd fought Kuwait in the February for the European belt, then you fought Liam Wells, I think it was May or June, and then obviously you were announced in the Fela.
What's it? Well, something mad happened. I think I had 3 or 4 fights that year, and it was going well, so I was really getting into things. Coming off the back of a Kuwait loss, that's not really going well, is it? But it was alright, but I was so confident about things, and then, I could have got on a bit of a run, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Well, maybe fortunate as well, we don't know. Looking back now, there's someone he might tell you.
Jared the man.
Oh, Jared the man. Come on,
man. Obviously, I guess probably your proudest moment, obviously in boxing, has probably been Commonwealth Gold. You never like to speak about it as you're a pro, but obviously Commonwealth Gold and obviously beating Callum Smith in 2010. It's hard to think it's that long ago. Like you only look about 25 now, but that was 12 years ago. But you can probably look back on it now. You didn't like to look at it because you were still a professional boxer and everything else. But can you probably look back more with pride now to say Callum Smith was a world champion, but I beat him in the Commonwealth Games final?
Yeah. Well, that went obviously. They put that name down as well to beat him, but I didn't beat the Callum Smith who fought Canelo and all. He's a different fighter then, but still the same person. It was a very good win. Even at the time, it was a good win because he was favourite. He got beaten in the Commonwealth Championships earlier in the year by Fred Evans, but he was expected to beat him, and he was expected to win it because obviously the whole Smith name and all as well. But so that was a good win. But the whole thing of winning the Commonwealth thing, I didn't really lap it up or appreciate it as such. I mean, not being ungrateful, but it's the sort of thing, if I knew then, what I know now. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck me, I really should have. I thought I was the man. I mean, I could have.
But obviously, probably come down to the fact that you're Irish, probably maybe don't get the opportunities as much, because if you won a Commonwealth Games gold medal at that time, obviously you would have signed with Eddie Hearn or something like that, and you had a big promoter behind you. Is that probably maybe what, because then you're having to have to work your way through the small hall circuit and everything else, because you're not a big promoter.
Yeah.
Was that sort of drawback then maybe what stopped you from, obviously, when you're on that high of winning Commonwealth gold, you'd sign pro and everything else, and then all of a sudden it starts dropping off wee bits? Is that probably a factor behind that?
Well, coming back from Commonwealth, it's all just you came back and then boom, man, not celebrity, but like I'm having people having parties and doing things and interviews and pictures and all. It was good, like it was all just big rouse. It was all manic for a while, and then unfortunately a few days after coming back we lost Liam McGuinness from the club, so that was a bit of a down, unfortunately. And then it was like I'm going to go pro now, and then we were trying, me and Jared and other people we're asking for this one, trying to get in touch with her and trying to get in touch with Warren. There was someone about then. McGuigan was he was starting to become a name, so there was no one about. And then we tried to do that, and then it didn't happen. So just that amateur fight, went to WSB, and then ended up fought Jason Quigley. He was my last ever amateur fight. He beat me. I think it was the quarterfinals of the Irish seniors back in, or elites, and that was me. Took a wee bit of while off, and then I ended up going pro and trying to work at that.
What would you sort of give advice and stuff wise to, obviously, we see a lot of amateurs sometimes and go early, too quick into pros, or go too late? What sort of advice would you sort of give to anybody that's maybe thinking of going pro now, sort of learn your trade properly? Or I guess as we've seen with some boxers, they don't need to have a big amateur career and they can still make success as a pro.
Yeah. Just have a good team behind you. Make sure you trust everyone. Just watch everyone. Make sure you've got things solid, even if it's legally as well. If you've got a manager, make sure if you're getting someone, make sure it's this is cat. It's like Paddy, it's only saying pro. You should trust people as well. No, you should, but when it's business and money involved, you shouldn't. So maybe get yourself. This is mad, but maybe get yourself a solicitor while you're signing with someone. If you're signing a contract, any kind of contract, don't just sign it on their terms. Do you know what I mean? Make sure your solicitor looks at it and they know what they think. Make sure you're going with the right trainers and the right people around you, people that you trust, people look after you, and make sure you get a few quid out of it at the end of the day. That's
the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you are getting a contract, just like if you're going in, just playing it's on your train, sign your pro. I'll try and get you 2 fights by the end of the year, and then hopefully next year we can get a fighter. If there's any shows coming up, that means you could be waiting about a year. Do you know, there's no guarantees, right? The first year you're getting 6 4-rounders and two 6-rounders and 8-rounder or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Make sure it's on black and white, and once again solicitors are involved, and it's just to keep yourself right, because it's a very short career. It comes and goes. So when you think back 6, 7, 8 years now in your life, you're like, oh, I'm on quick. It's like that's your pro career. So I turned pro when I was 23 or 7 years and finished when I was 30. Do you know what I mean? 7 years of life is not a lot. My whole career, that's all it was. Do you know what I mean? So if you get your money's worth.
Definitely agree there. Obviously, when we speak in Commonwealth as well, obviously we just did the Commonwealth Games. Obviously, you've been involved a lot in Jordantown as well, I believe, obviously, in the coaching and things there.
Yeah.
It sort of maybe overshadows, obviously, your Commonwealth Games gold medal in 2010 when they bring back 5 and 2 silvers and a bronze. But what an occasion. Obviously, you were... 2010 was in Delhi, wasn't it? So this one was obviously in Birmingham. But I guess probably that shows, like, people leave the amateurs set up and they go, they're going to struggle for medals, and they bring home so many medals. Like, it's unheard of.
Yeah, it is getting better here. There has been since high performance down in Dublin. They've got also high performance. So John Conlon, D. Kennedy as well. So yeah, it's really starting to pick up here. The quality's starting to show now, because I think we were the best team Northern Ireland's ever had. Boxing anyway. We boasted about that, and it took another three games from defeat it, but now I was the second best team ever. I'll accept that, that's still good. First of all, second the best. Tom always used to say it. Tommy McCarthy said that when I got the gold and he got the silver. He says, first the worst, second the best. He said it the whole way home in the plane. He said, put a fucking dampener on my gold medal here. That's his cat. But no, like I said, it goes to show, and the whole setup they got and the people are involved and all as well, and everybody's doing a good job. I'm involved a bit, like I'm sort of coast development squad I'm in, so I'm learning my way as well. I'm learning as much as possible and getting involved as much as I can, watching, always learning, just soaking everything up. I was away in Italy there not long ago over in a CC with the youth high performance team, or the youth and junior, brilliant experience. So it was very, very good over at their Olympic squad, or their Olympic training centre in Assisi. I was brilliant. Away for a week. It was challenging enough because there's 14 and 15-year-olds, so it was a bit tight, messing about and all as well. But I think we've done a good job and really enjoyed it. It was a brilliant experience.
What would you sort of like the future to hold for you? I guess sometimes when people leave, obviously professional boxing and everything else, do you sort of want to stay involved in coaching maybe amateur wise? I believe you're maybe going to be going into a corner of obviously a pro setup potentially as well. So now that you've experienced obviously amateur and professional boxing, do you want to stay involved within the sport?
Big time. I want to be involved. It's not like myself and my family's expensive stuff. Obviously, I will commit myself more as well. But I really want to enjoy it and stuff as well. But yeah, obviously with Dan the man, he's training a few fighters now. He's in with Don McDonaghan. I think that's brilliant. I think it's a very, very good team up. Very fond of Don, because I've spoken a few times. I think we fought on the same show once or twice. And he's a nice kid and all as well. He's coming off the back of the loss against Graham McCormick as well, isn't he? And I've heard stuff, and I've only seen a glimpse of it while I've been over in Dan's, and I can see some improvements as well. I see what they're working at. Dan loves it, as you know. Dan loves it. Dan talks a lot and loves it a lot, but he's very, very committed, and he's always open-minded. He's
like a hyperactive 12-year-old, I think.
He's nuts, full of skittles, full of skittles and monster. But no, they're doing well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him in the next few weeks, and I'll be involved as much as needed, as much as possible with him.
I guess obviously for Dominic, and I know he wouldn't mind me saying it, his obviously a problem has been confidence. Obviously before the sort of pandemic, he was sort of on the front foot, and then he decided he wanted to be in the back foot, and then he was sort of stuck in no man's land where he's just standing there. I guess obviously, and I think I said in his interview, Dan will obviously create that confidence, but obviously you being there as well, you've experienced obviously what it's been to lose and everything else. So probably the perfect partnership for him to have, obviously in the lead up to a big fight with a Cavan clash with Owen Duffy.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I think I know Dan, he fought Owen Duffy and he beat him as well, so it's 1-0 kind of for Team Anderson. But yeah, I think I'll bring something to the stable, obviously, with my own experience as well. And then me and Dominic respect each other as well. So if I say something out of Madison, he'll listen to it, and then he'll appreciate my feedback and my advice that I can give him. So I do think that's going to go well, and obviously time will tell. We've waited here about just over 3 weeks until their first fight, and then I think everybody will see a good difference and really enjoy it.
It definitely is. Sort of professional boxing, I guess, obviously, I sort of put a thing up not so long ago there and was sort of saying, like the last world champion we had was TJ Tahini, and I think he lost that title to Danny Roman, who just retired this week, back in June 2019, so we're over 3 years without a professional men's world champion. Yeah. What do you sort of think needs to change? Like some people would say maybe people sometimes have too much home comfort. They're not taken away from the comfort zone and obviously train the very best they can. What do you think? We're obviously close that we're maybe going to get 1 or 2 at once. Or what do you think needs to change within Irish boxing as a professional scene to get more world champions?
I don't know really, but we've got Fergal McCrory. He was away for a while and he's back now, isn't he? And then we had Laurie Friars, he's away, and Conor Coyle's away. So there are people that's trying it. That's just America ways. And then we've got Conlon, we've had Conrad Cummins, we've had Carl Frampton over the year. I know Carl was a world champion, but had people away and people living in fighters in Australia, fighters in Spain, and all that as well. So no, I don't know. It's just. Sometimes find. I guess
it's sometimes it's finding that right balance. Obviously, it's getting the best out of someone, but I guess sometimes people, whenever we're not doing well, they'll obviously find negatives to sort of find into it.
Well, sorry, just thinking. I think maybe the quality of training as well. I think trainers are starting to evolve now. We have got a good few trainers here. So I think it is going to keep improving. Well, we'll get a world champion soon. Who it is? Don't know. Maybe even Paddy McCrory. He's the kicking our off it, isn't he? But 2 or 3 fights, whatever, even from a world title fight up at Madison. You would know more.
I don't know about that.
But don't mean like he's not far off it. Obviously McConnell maybe an hour 1 or 2, and he's on to it. So we got
We've obviously Endo Kakachi fighting for the ABO belt in 3 weeks' time as well.
There you go for world champion here in a couple of weeks. So.
And obviously, I know with the ABO obviously wouldn't be regarded as one of the prestige obviously belts, but it still says world, and it leads to it.
I chased that for a while. I was supposed to fight for the European one, then I got off for the world title, and I was like 100%, can be world champion here, and then it fell through. It's a world title, don't care what everyone says.
And obviously Dennis Hogan's going to be fighting for it in October as well against Sam Egginton out in Australia, so potentially we could end up with 2 in the same year.
I seen the highlight or the headline. I said, who's fighting Sam Egginton? Fuck, Sam. He passes brain scan, not to be dick, but fuck me. Some people like, fuck, he's not. He can fairly take a shot, and he has. I'd fuck a bit of a dicker doing that, but still like.
I think Sam's initial approach to boxing was he wanted to be a journeyman, and Barry Hearn changed it because he knew he could see a bit of talent, so he wanted him to be an actual boxer.
Story. I fought against John Pegg. Used to train him. I fought against one of his fighters, my second fight, and then I fought in the prize fighter with Sam Egginton. And then I just know the whole story from then. And then he got picked for a couple of good fights. Was that in Vasily, fought after the prize fighter, won that, and then sure, he got a good run for Matchroom. But I didn't know them two were fighting. That'd be a bit of a war. Probably both lads for taking it. What's it for?
ABO Super Welterweight title.
There you go. What when's that?
The 8th of October. There we go, I'm filling you with all this information.
I will go. About 5 weeks going to get 2 world champions here, and you're saying when's the next ones?
I guess it's sometimes just sort of having that knowledge, you know, I guess it's a fighter can sometimes know what maybe might needs to develop more. When we see a high performance unit in Dublin and them rolling champions out after champions, and we're going, where's the shortfall we're sort of having? Is it the Frampton effect that dies off, or where do we see the sort of next one coming from?
No, I think we'll definitely get one soon. Like you see, Frampton and any of our good fighters, Jimmy Conlon, McConnell, no, they were cracking amateurs. Look at the cracking amateurs we have now. So
and I guess we're a minute away from Mick being a world champion as well, back in March.
Well, I know where you go. Well, they're so close, but like there's Commonwealth champions, Olympic champions, girls and all. Do you know me? It'll not be too long. Like once they come up 5 years time, have 6 or 7 world champions. Take your pick.
Definitely have one for every month of the year, sort of thing. Yeah.
There you go. All being well, we will.
You know. But obviously, we want to thank you obviously for having a chat with us. Obviously, we didn't prepare any questions. We just know it's just going to be a random conversation. But I'm sure we'll probably not leave it as long. The next time, like I say, that was 16 months from the last interview. But probably maybe have to get you back on to do some of your Paddy predicts again. Remember we done that for a while?
Oh, well, definitely, right. Like I said, I enjoy us. Miss all this, so next fight come up, we'll do something together.
We'll do a Paddy predicts again.
We'll do wait and wait.
wait, definitely. But listen, it's great to catch up with you, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yes, no sweat. All the best. See you later.